Joining us on the phone is Mr. Johnathon Schaech. Jonathan, good morning, my man.
Good morning.
It's good to talk to you this morning, and we got a lot to talk about, but let's start with the real thing, the real deal. In theaters today, the movie Phantom. And I want to know, are you at first I got really excited because I grew up in musical theater, and I'm like, yes, they're doing another Phantom. And then I found out this Phantom of the Opera takes place on a submarine.
Yes, it's not that one, and it's not the guy in the purple outfit.
It's totally different Phantom.
Really different.
Well, tell us a little bit about this one. It looks like a fantastic movie. I mean, great actors. You're in it. Ed Harris, David Duchovny, Sean Patrick Flannery. Some great actors in the film. Tell us a little bit about what Phantom's about.
Well, it's based around these events that happened during the Cold War in 1968, where this Russian submarine went rogue. The Russians didn't know where the submarine was for a long period of time, which we figured out they couldn't figure out where this submarine was, and eventually we actually found this submarine. And this is this happens. This is the mystery that happened during that time, the unknown era.
Oh.
And basically, there's all these really extraordinary conditions that these men had to go under, and choices that they had to make. There was a KGB operative on board that's forcing his objective upon the Russian crew. I played a political officer on board, spaced between trying to stay true to the motherland and stay true to his party and everything that the communists believed at the time, and then torn by his captain who was trying to make a decision between what was right and wrong.
Interesting here. And so it sounds like a very good. It reminds me a little bit of like Argo, but on a submarine. So are we looking at a Best Picture nominee or winner next year?
Well, I could. I mean, the acting is incredible. I mean, you have Ed Harris. He's sensational in the movie. I mean, you can't say it's his greatest work because he's done so much great work over the years. But he's magnificent in it, and he's met toe-to-toe by Dave Duchovny, who always fascinates me. That we can here's an actor that we know on television for being famous for two major series that you can call him by his name, Mulder and Moody, and here he is when he plays the KGB operative. You forget completely that he was on television, so successfully.
Yeah,
how many actors you could think about that?
I know there's not a lot that can really totally break that mold for you, where you're not thinking like, oh, that's really Harry Potter doing something different. It's like, no, some people can just totally change, and they're that good. You buy the character they're playing at that moment.
That's exactly
right.
That's
a good thing there. So it sounds like an awesome movie. Did you guys have to do a lot of research for it? I mean, to learn about these actual times and, study how submarines work, or was it more they just put you in there and you knew your lines and you went for it?
No, I studied. I know everyone. All those actors are kind of studiers. They really do their homework prior to getting on board any project. And it's getting aboard the submarine. And I read as much as I could on communism, number one, and then also just learning about what a political officer, why they were there, and basically the Communist Party was never really secure with the military being on their own, so they always put a political officer on board any of their endeavors. So the party was always there, helping make them make decisions. So I read books, and then the other great thing is there's several very good Russian submarine movies. So we got to watch a lot of Russian submarine movies that didn't have any English subtitles, so you had no idea what they were doing, but they were beautiful.
Yeah, that's good. You're like, I don't know what they're saying right now, but it seems profound.
They're great.
It's moving me. I love that. So after doing all your studying, have you determined that communism is the way to go, or still we should stick with the democracy here in the U.S.?
I definitely think we want the freedom.
Yeah, it seems kind of cool. It seems, sometimes you forget about it, but when you look at it, the big picture, yeah, freedom is kind of nice.
Yeah, free will is a great thing when you get the opportunity to do more than you're subjected to, so you have an opportunity. I mean, that's not something the Communist Party... Well, it's interesting enough, the political officer that I played, he could move up in rank. That was his ambition, to be more of a soldier for the party.
Yeah, so
not so much for himself.
Exactly. They get behind that party. That's for dang sure there. So Phantom is the movie. It sounds awesome there. Great cast, great kind of a, mystery-filled submarine-type Soviet movie there. Anything else going on in life? Any other projects? Anything upcoming? Anything in the works for you that's exciting?
Yeah, I'm actually reoccurring on this new show called the second season of The Client List. And I just started filming that up in I'm my third episode of that, and then I've been filming for the Showtime series called Ray Donovan, which will premiere opposite Dexter.
Oh,
yeah, it's Liev Schreiber and John Voight are the stars of it, and I got a really great reoccurring on that. I'm not a movie star, but I play one on TV.
I like that. Hey, at least you're playing something somewhere. As an actor, at least you're working. That's really the bottom line. Is you're doing stuff. You're getting out there. You wrote a movie for Adam Sandler's company a few years ago. Any news on that? Did it happen? Did it fall through? Is it going to happen?
Well, we wrote it. They paid me a lot of money. That's always a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they did not make the movie. It's set in 1963, so it's not the easiest thing to do a time period piece. And it's a great story. And I've been writing a book on it with Rick Dempsey, whose story it is. It's about a 1963 Little League team that was the first West Coast team to ever go to the East Coast. But the thing is, the 13 cities that they took, they were undefeated. In each one of those cities, a bank was robbed. The coach was robbing banks in each one of the cities.
Oh, wow. That's kind of a cool story.
Yeah. So we're eventually going to shop it back around, but sometimes it's harder to make movies that are period pieces. You're starting to see more and more of them. They kind of go in waves.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not necessarily dead with Happy Madison because they still own that screenplay that I wrote. So we're trying different avenues to get it out there, and movies take a while to get made, that's for sure.
I think, here's the way to do it. You just got to go up to Adam Sandler and say, I've got it. The coach of the team that steals in every city, get Daniel Day-Lewis to play him, and I think you got yourselves a hit on your hands. He loved Daniel Day-Lewis. He has an affinity for period pieces, if you haven't noticed.
He does, but I don't think he has affinity for baseball.
he might. Who knows? He's
English. I guarantee you, he doesn't even know the game very well.
You're right. You're probably right on that one.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Well, that's awesome. You got a lot going on. Really spreading yourself all over the place there. Getting your hands in everything, which is always good. So you always got something going on. I was just reading yesterday. I was flipping through my Twitter, and a tweet came up with your name in it. So of course I read it, and I just want to know if this is one of the just something that you deal with being in the industry, if it bothers you, what it's like, because obviously it doesn't happen to us normal people, but anytime you say something, even the most innocuous statement, it for some reason becomes news. Like one of the major gossip magazines tweeted out yesterday, Johnathon Schaech says, quote, he's happy for Christina Applegate, or some totally nice thing that you just said. You're like, oh yeah, no, I'm happy for her, and just some nice comment about your ex, and they made it like news. Does that bother you that it's like I can't even just make like a mild, nice, positive comment without having it be a headline, or is that just like come with the territory?
Someone said to me yesterday, God, I watched you do that interview. It was on the red carpet, and I walked down the line on the red carpet. You get down to the one person that made the comment and asked all the questions that we just talked about Phantom. There's Ed Harris behind me, Duchovny's to my right. We're walking down the line, and then finally at the last thing she goes, and how do you feel about, Christina getting married? I love her to death, and I hope she's happy. I love her. Her family's happy. She's obviously... she's a wonderful person. I can't say enough about her.
Yeah, she's
a pretty famous chick. So
yeah,
I think that they always want to tie that together for some reason.
Exactly. I know, but isn't it just so funny that you make just like the most perfect soundbite? Any publicist would be like, perfect, Johnathon, great answer. And then they make news about it. It's like, what else do they want? It should have been news if you were like, oh, I don't know how she's doing, but I wish she was dead. That should have made news, not just saying something nice. Come on. I don't know.
I said something really nice, didn't I?
Exactly. At least you look like a nice guy coming out of it. Well, we are out of time, but But go see Johnathon Schaech in Phantom. It's in theaters today. Ed Harris, David Duchovny, a bunch of great actors in the film there. So check it out, especially if you love, espionage, Soviet stuff, communism, submarine, mystery, all of it. You're going to find it all in the movie Phantom. Johnathon, thanks so much for taking the time for us today, and hopefully we'll talk to you again in the future. Best of luck with everything.
Big J, thank you so much.
The Big J Show. Weekday mornings from 6 till 10 on Billings' #1 hit music station, Hot 101.9.